Mr. President, we have urgent news. Soviet missiles are placed upon the island of Cuba.
What are our options in this situation?
We have two options in this situation. We can either A, attack Cuba and destroy the missiles completely, or B, set up a naval blockade against the Russian ships.
Mr. President, I think we should set up a naval blockade against the Russian ships to prevent another war.
Let's see how it plays out, and then I'll decide. But whatever we do, we can't tell the American people yet.
Mr. President, we have found 16 to 32 more missiles. What shall we do?
Let's wait a little bit longer, then I'll make my final decision.
Mr. President, I assure you that Soviet aid to Cuba is purely defensive and not a threat to the U.S.
Okay, but the gravest consequences will follow if Soviet offensive weapons are introduced to Cuba.
Have fun in Ohio, Mr. President!
We have to set up this naval blockade as soon as possible. We cannot afford another war.
Hogwash! We need to attack. They are trying to bully us. This war is inevitable.
We have to have this naval blockade. It is the perfect thing.
Fine!
Mr. President, welcome back.
General Sweeney, could we do an airstrike?
An airstrike would not be possible. It would not destroy the missiles 100%.
Okay, Mr. Truman, goodbye. I have to inform the public about this crisis. Attention, my fellow Americans. We have received news that Russia has placed missiles on Cuba pointed toward us. We are setting up a naval quarantine so no more can be delivered and are hoping for their removal. Thank you. Dear Mr. Khrushchev, love, JFK. What's up, Dr. King? Mr. Khrushchev, you need to halt any Russian ships going to Cuba. Thank you. The first fleet has been sent out, and they have already stopped a submarine and Russian freighters.
Mr. President, we just received a letter from Mr. Khrushchev.
Nice to see you again, Mr. King. Dear Mr. Khrushchev, there has been a change of plans.
Mr. President, we have photographic evidence of accelerated construction on Cuba and the uncrating of bombs.
Before we take action, let's wait for Moscow's response.
Mr. President, we received a second letter from Moscow, and we also know that the Cubans have shot down one of our U-2 planes, killing the pilot.
That's terrible. I shall give him this award for his bravery. Great news! Khrushchev is taking the missiles off Cuba as long as we don't invade.
Yay!